What's up?
Heem,
Hey
Heem
BFF.
came in. There he go.
Oh my god.
Everybody's here. Yay. That's Jasmine Heem. Heem, that's
Hello,
Jasmine.
guys.
Hello, hello.
¿Qué pasó? What's up? What's up?
Nothing. I just gave you a makeshift Real Housewives moment.
Oh.
Somewhat.
I'm
Zoom
like,
reunion.
all right, so tonight I'm going to start from the top, Lake, and you can do the outline from the bottom because I have some things I want to run into first. Because the first question was the question that I've been asking on several podcasts, so I want to lead in with that question today. So today we are talking about toxic love, y'all. We talking about toxic love. So my question, as we start
What's up,
off the
Key?
topic, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? My question, as we start off the topic tonight, is keeping that same energy considered to be toxic? So when niggas
Yeah.
say they keeping that same energy, when you dating somebody, you keeping that same energy. Do y'all consider that to be toxic? What's up, Jer? We got to
Yeah,
get
I
you
think
on.
so.
You said you
I
think
think
so?
so. Yeah, because you have to, like, a relationship is about compromise and, like, learning a person's personality.
Right.
If you're going to keep the same energy, and what if your energy doesn't match with that person, but you're compatible? So why would you keep an energy that may not be healthy for the both of you all to thrive?
Mm,
I
mm,
guess you
mm,
could say.
mm. I agree. I fucking agree.
You
How you
fucking
feel,
agree.
he?
What do you all think?
Me
You're
personally,
not.
me personally, I don't. I think it all just comes down to a conversation. Um, talk about what that energy is instead of saying I'm going to keep that same energy. Because I feel like keeping that same energy is just it's an ongoing thing. It's just gonna spiral down. You're not gonna really get an answer because you're just keeping that energy. You're being content with whatever it is,
And that's what people do though.
and
Everybody
it, and,
says
and
that a lot, and niggas roll with that because they be in the unknown space with people, and so they like, and it's I think it has to do with, and I'm gonna let you go back. I think it has to do with niggas not being direct and
yeah.
upfront about how they feel, and them not asking the person about how that person actually feels, so that they can know what page they on. So they just go off of like, okay, if you move this way, I'm gonna move this way.
It also comes with communication styles too. Like someone's not going to have the same communication style as you. So you keeping the same energy in your communication style means you're not really open to hearing or understanding what the person means when maybe you're in a fight or like stuff like that.
Right.
Because when you don't hear someone because you're too busy keeping the same energy, like, oh, my point is going to be made no
Right.
matter what, how are you ever going to be in a relationship
I
and a
feel like
healthy one?
I feel like it depends. For me, it depends on the situation
Mm.
because, like, I'm gonna keep the same energy if it's positive and if it's not really deteriorating our relationship. Because, like, in a relationship, you should grow together, and that is energy. So, like, for me, I would keep it up if it's somebody that I want to be with. But as far as the negativity and being as petty as they may be, or like try to get them back in a more devious way than they did to me, like, no.
But what if like
Can't
your
do it.
positive energy is not something that can necessarily be healthy in the relationship, such as talking to everyone that you meet? What if like you're so used to being single and
Talking
talking
or
to
flirting with
everyone?
everybody.
Yeah,
Which is
because
it?
that's a
But
different.
flirting flirting can be different to everyone. Like flirting is perception. So
So you
I
feel
could
like
be saying
flirting is
hello to someone.
subjective.
Yeah, it's subjective and it's perception. Like if I say hello to somebody with a smile, like they could be taking it some type of way, and my partner could be taking it some type of way. But I could just mean hello. I mean,
I can see it as a double edged sword sometimes. Depends it depends on if you are just a nice person overall. That's the only exception that comes with it. Is if you a nice person that's like real like friendly with everybody, those are the only niggas that get the exception. But if you are a person that's not like that friendly and then you want to be so friendly with this nigga over here, all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck? Like something's not adding up. Why are you trying to be friendly over here with him? You know he look good, I know he look good. Why you in his face?
but so are people supposed to not talk to someone because you feel insecure about how they may come off to that person and come off to you? T, no shade.
Ooh, what are you sipping on? I'm sipping on
Pinot
rosé.
Grigio. Pinot Grigio. It's a
You
fave.
know.
$2.99. Trader
Oh
Joe's.
shit.
We're
He's
getting
getting lit
fancy.
tonight. R.I.P. that.
7-Eleven.
Haim, how do you feel about that? Like,
Um,
are you cool with your nigga being like friendly with everybody and being everybody's face?
so like you said, it's it depends on who that person is. So I personally,
Mm.
because I'm a friendly person, but I don't really extend myself out to everyone like immediately, like the hey with the smiles and all that.
Yeah.
That's not me. So, um, but like you
Yeah,
said,
we know you a
you
Philly
know
nigga,
when to
so
exactly. So so you know when the you know when you see it, if it's flirting or if it's not flirting, you could tell.
Mm.
You could definitely tell. But me, I don't have a problem with it. Um, it's just standards and boundaries, really. Um,
boundaries.
yeah.
I don't like a friendly nigga because I feel like I don't want somebody that's just always what?
Keep going. Keep
I
going.
feel like there's always like I'm just always gonna be thinking like, why are you so friendly to these bitches? One, and that's really gonna be the main thing. Like I'm probably gonna just be annoyed at that because it's just like, okay, like why are you up in? Why do you feel the need to be up in everybody's face?
So you want a
Like
nigga that's mean.
I don't want a nigga that's mean. Like I
You're
want a nigga
twisting
that's
her
well
words.
respected, and you don't have to be all up in everybody's face to be well respected. Like a lot of people, that to me that shows that you're a little bit mixy
Mm.
because that's
Yeah, I
just
don't like mixy niggas. Don't
yeah,
like them
But
at all.
okay, in gay relationships and heterosexual relationships, being friendly is totally different. Because obviously you don't want some nigga that's like gonna be talking to other girls. But as a guy in a gay relationship, you're gonna be talking to other guys. How do you think you can navigate that?
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Like, like say if we go to the club or something, you're
Right.
not gonna just be sitting there with a stank ass face. You're gonna be
Oh,
like,
because you
hi.
say there's a room full of niggas because you're in that community.
Yeah. So it's gonna be totally different. And
It's really a difference. I can't like you. I feel like it's you trying to make it semantics and it's not because it's real direct. Like you can tell when your nigga is being flirtatious with other people.
yeah, because hello,
You know
that's
who
your
he
nigga.
is.
Like I will
So
punch you in your fucking face if you have the audacity to do that. If you have the audacity to do that in my face,
Yeah, that's disrespect. That's
and
my
the
friend
toxic.
whole
Lo,
other Libra side that bitches don't want to fuck with.
my
That's
friend
what's
Lo said, I don't care if my person innocently is flirting, but don't be sneaky about shit. I like flirting with intent to get a free drink, to get free drinks. She likes flirting with intent to get free drinks. So what do you think
So
about that? Like, how do
But
you
does that
feel?
stop when you're in a relationship, or does
yeah,
that
that's what I was gonna
continue
ask.
to
Like,
get
is
you
she in a
both free
Yeah.
relationship?
drinks? Like, I feel like if you talk about it and you're just like, oh, listen, this is what I do, and you could get the benefits. and then you get 2 free drinks. Like, is it like that?
Right. Tell him you got a nigga right over here. He
Like
want to
how a
drink
lot of
too.
bitches have sugar daddies and that man knows, and they split the bread.
Oh, I
Is
ain't
it
never
like
heard of
that?
that.
Yeah,
No, that's
that's
new.
So I've been in a situation similar like that before. It wasn't with a drink, it was with my music. Some guy was like flirting with me. Um, and he thought I was gonna like put my number in his phone. But I actually like took his phone and actually like put my music on all of his like playlists. So and my ex, he did have he did feel some type of way about it because he felt as though, that guy was gonna be looking for me one day and remember who I was, and that's just not where I was. You know what I'm saying? I only did it to, do what I had to do. But
Yeah, I think
in
that's
his eyes,
different.
he looked at it right. But it's
That's
kind of
different.
like,
You should have put your
I don't
cash
know.
app in and
But see,
said
that
fucking
goes
$50 or
that
$100 at the
not the
that
end.
stems
Cash
from
App.
like it's positive. And wouldn't that be positive, but a negative to your relationship? So that's what I was talking about. That was like a positive, but it's a negative to the relationship.
It's a negative to the relationship. It's a positive for you as a single nigga.
Hmm.
And you want to stay single, you can do that. But you can't do that with me.
So you find that to be negative, what he did.
Oh, what he did, I wouldn't find that to be negative. Baby, go get some more supporters. Come on now. We need you to run up them strings so we can
But
start
I'm
bringing in
saying,
that bag. That
but
bag.
he just said that it was a negative in his relationship. So what are your thoughts? Do you think that keeping the same energy of trying to like move ahead in life is wrong, or
Go ahead, Judge.
I don't think keeping the same energy
Somebody wrote a
is wrong.
paragraph.
Like, I feel like it's wrong depending on the circumstance and your intentions. Like, if you know
Mm. Yeah, your intentions.
you're doing it to be petty, like I said before, then you're keeping the same energy. So like whatever happens, happens. Just know you're fighting fire with fire.
And
Hmm.
And that
I never
energy
would.
shit is real. Like, that's why sometimes you be feeling more negative than the person that did you wrong. Because like why did you do the same shit that he was doing to you?
Right. When
Just
you know that's not you.
yeah.
Exactly.
I
Um,
did that before, so I'm not gonna sit here
which
and
is
act
this
like
your friend XO? It said low.
yeah, my friend Love.
Okay, she said, I don't care if I trust you, I trust you. So just do you, have fun. We at the club, drinks are innocent. Just don't be disrespectful. Go too far. Turn off the flirting when we leave the spot.
She's a Libra, by the way.
Is she?
okay,
Yes.
because here it's a little bit contradicting, right? Because
Oh.
if you cared or if you didn't care, you wouldn't have said turn off the flirting,
Yeah.
because that's like a natural thing. Like, that's why I said I don't like these fucking friendly ass niggas, because
Friendly ass niggas.
they don't know how to not flirt, okay? Especially if it's like a pretty fire girl with a big ass. Like, they're gonna be like, googly
Big booty
eyes.
team.
And then I'm
I
gonna
mean,
have to
don't you think
spot
it's
them.
read the room though? Don't you think it's more so of like a read the room? Okay, we've left the club. We're done with the drinks. Why are you still going? Don't you think it's more so like, I mean, check
I
the
don't know why you
environment.
would begin though. Like why did you flirt with me?
I
Yeah,
think it
like
I think
that's exactly. I feel but like,
exactly.
Flirt
what
with
is the
me. Like
issue
I
here?
think it's more so of an I mean, it's so easy to say, oh, flirt with me or something. But when you're in those moments, you're gonna have real life reactions. It's so easy to have scripted reactions. But
True.
when you're in those moments, I mean, what else is gonna go on? Like, so
I
okay,
think that it has to do
you want
with
me to go off
discipline.
on you?
I think it has
I
to
Discipline.
do
mean, I'm
with
not gonna.
discipline.
I think that like,
Because go ahead.
oh no, I was just saying like, I think that sure, discipline can be a thing,
Right.
but I think if you're a natural, friendly person, you it's not necessarily not disciplining yourself with speaking to people, but I think that it's also respect when you are out of those situations. Let's not keep going. if that makes sense.
Right, no, that's what I was saying in the beginning, top of the conversation is like is when you see somebody when you're dealing with somebody, your partner is already a naturally friendly person. That's the exception to the rule. I feel like because my babe is already so nice and kind and speaks to everybody from the trash man to the old lady to this person down the street that's young, everybody. Like you don't have no discrimination, no picks when it comes to who you want to be friendly with. So that is a person that I would allow that shit to go on with. Like even though I really wouldn't like it. But
Hmm.
if that's how I met you, how the fuck I'm gonna turn it off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of
It's
people's problem. They meet people with certain like they meet people a certain way, and then when they get with them, they don't want them to continue on like with that certain energy, you know. And I never could understand that. I
they
never
want
could
them to
understand
be
that.
be a
Yeah.
different way.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah, when they
real
switch up
question
like that,
is
that's weird.
I think the real question is like, what type of energy are you supposed to keep? And what type of energy can you change?
Well,
Because
the
keeping the
energy
same
that
energy is such a vague like phrase, but what like compartmentalizing, I guess we
well,
could say,
it's doing
what are
whatever
you
they do. Like when people say keep that
okay.
same energy, they keeping it. Whatever time you on, I'm on. If you step, I'm stepping. If you chill, I'm chill. That's how people be moved. That's what they say when they say keep that same energy. It's whatever you're doing, I'm going to do this. Monkey see, monkey do, basically. In other words. So whatever you on, I'm going to do the same thing. It's not having a mind of your own. That's why I said it's like when niggas don't redirect and elaborate on how they feel, they just sub to whatever the other person is doing. Like they default to that because they can't be direct and communicate what they want or how they feel that other or whatever they want from that other person. So they just let it. It's like I feel like it's Jasmine probably gonna say something to you, but I feel like it's the same shit like going with the flow. Like
Yeah.
it's in the same realm. You don't know
I
what you're
mean,
gonna get from day to day,
with keeping the same energy,
and going with the flow. Like it's the
it
same.
is. I mean, it is the same thing essentially. Kiara says, "I agree with Mo. That's like meeting your man who is a jokester and falling for him for that. Then when you get tight or don't like something, you'll be like, you think everything is a joke. But I would
Mm,
say that still though.
that is so now that's toxic.
That is
How is
Because
it
it's
toxic.
like you're
toxic?
That is
well, if you're
toxic. I have
like
to
if
agree.
you are you using if you're using someone's personality against them, it's you either had a problem with it or
But
you
wait,
can communicate effectively in a way to not hurt their feelings.
no,
If you feel
I
that they're not, if you feel like they're taking it as a joke, then you should say that. You shouldn't be like, oh, you know, you joked with Tommy down the street, so now you try to joke with me during this argument. That's not what's happening.
Okay.
Read the room. So if you feel like I'm making a joke about it, then talk to me about it and talk to me effectively. But to like use something, you know, to use a different scenario in an argument, that's not healthy. And that's like, it's you have a
Right.
problem with how they communicate with other people. And that's what you need to communicate. And then that comes with, are we compatible? So
yeah, because
if you
you're not
feel like
compatible
they're
with
always
everybody.
joking and you have,
Well,
yeah,
you know,
at
because a
all.
lot of people think that the first person that they date, right, is the one for them. That's the love of their
Yeah.
life, they claim, because that's the first person that they fell in love with. And that's the first person that they decided they wanted to be with. To me, that's a toxic way of thinking. Because how on earth, like, I just feel like to really know, you have to experience life. And I feel like to think, like, because there's a lot of people that think that every person that they get into a relationship is like the one for them.
Right.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Like,
I was just thinking about that today, how my life has literally
But
changed from last year to this year in that mindset. because I used to be, yo, I can't imagine being stuck over a nigga no more. Like that bondage. No, I'm trying to tell you, when you fuck with like, okay, it's okay when you fuck with somebody on a like you like they fuck with you, they put pressure on you, put pressure on them. Cool. It's like the beginning stage, all that, etc. Y'all start dating. But it's another thing to be engulfed in them, to let them. We was talking about this on the past episodes. To let them like, if they don't talk to you for the whole day, or they do some weird shit, fuck up your whole energy. And that's where I like I feel like that whole wave like that I was on with that dumbass shit that I was on last year, being that way with niggas, has left my fucking body. Cause I don't have no like I do have feelings, but I don't give a fuck if you come or go.
I mean,
Unless
so
I know in my spirit that it's really real, I don't even be giving a fuck no more.
so my question is like, do you think that people could be taking experiences from friendship type of relationships and like using that in the relationship of what they do and do not like in a person? Do you think friendships can affect romantic, like platonic relationships can affect romantic relationships in that aspect of helping, maneuvering, like what you do not like in a relationship?
Not for me.
Because don't you have to be friends with someone to be in a relationship, like to keep it lasting,
Ideally,
long lasting?
You,
Yeah.
you would want to build that bond. What y'all think?
you should want to. I honestly think you should. You should. It's
Yeah.
that's the scariest part about it, because you could remain friends. You could be friends with someone and pursue a relationship, but later on find out that, maybe y'all were just better off being friends. And then when y'all do break up, it's like now you don't even have the friendship no more. That's what makes it really scary. So,
Yeah.
but that's why you should remain friends first for a good period of time, so that way you know who you're dealing with. You know their actions when they're upset, what makes them happy. And then, once the relationship comes, it should just honestly not flow, but it should be a lot easier than just jumping into a relationship with somebody that you barely even fucking know.
Real.
That's true.
But
I agree.
Yeah. I think that you do need to be friends. But I found that out the hard way, because my ass was just like, oh my gosh, you are so fine. You are mine.
that's you are so fine. You are mine.
Yep, there we
Okay,
go.
let's go into what they tweet. So this has to do with toxic love, and this is our segment. Whatever, he go ahead, go ahead. Yo,
Oh
he
my
funny.
gosh.
Go ahead.
I know,
Yeah,
what
I'm
is he
sorry.
thinking? What are you thinking?
Yeah, go ahead. We put this shit on pause. Go ahead.
It's on pause.
Listen. When it comes to social media, I always tell people this, like, whether if you met the person through social media or not, like, do not put your problems on social media. Do not ever do it.
Oh,
Do not
tacky.
ever do it, because that's just open doors to letting people
Whoever.
in on your relationship, to the insecurities, the people that want you, the people that might want your significant other. Like, it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's a mess. So I always tell people, keep your shit off social media,
I
because
agree.
Keep everything also. Are we still paused?
No.
Shut up.
Oh.
This nigga talking, we still pause. You see we moving.
Oh,
but yeah,
Yo.
like, just
I agree though. I agree with you. Um hold on, let me my bad.
this is. I'm so
Um
nervous. Like, this is my first time on camera.
all right. All right, so what they tweet. So I hope he wasn't talking about me because this ain't about. I mean,
Wow.
well, actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna hold you. I do post shit that pertains to me. Maybe some shit that actually is happening, but I don't give a fuck about what people think. So that's the difference between me and other people.
It was
but hold on,
so
before you go into that. So when you say I don't care what people think, like it's okay to not care what people think, but I feel like when you're in a relationship, you're supposed to care what
Oh, a
people think because
relationship
it
is a
could be.
different story. Yeah,
And how
Okay,
you
yeah. I'm not talking
okay.
about a relationship. I won't. I said on Instagram a while ago, y'all won't know who I'm fucking with until we married. Y'all gonna see me married. That's it. I'm gonna pop out like Issa Rae. Shit gonna be over.
I
okay.
know that was crazy. Okay, that was just crazy. Beautiful wedding,
That's
but I
um,
was like,
sympathy.
dang girl, you couldn't even let us know.
yeah.
Like I'm an
We
avid watcher. I
don't
can
even know. We don't even know who the nigga is. That's how much of a how she kept it
we
real
didn't
low
even know
key.
she was in a serious relationship like that.
That's how
That's
you do
crazy.
it.
Love is love. Rev
But
love.
so I wrote this tweet um Monday, and I said you ain't got to speak on shit that you see or feel all the time. Just move different. Okay. Now that's not the end of the tweet. What they tweet today, it has a reply because this is the part that I wanted to incorporate because somebody spoke. The person that replied or quoted my tweet spoke on toxic, and what he said, his ad name is Ayokju, Ayokju, and he quoted my tweet and said, "This is my toxic trait, but I only can do it because I don't want no confusion." You understood what I said? Should I read
What
it
was the
again?
tweet?
All right, the tweet was I tweeted and said, "You ain't got to speak on shit that you see or feel all the time. Just move different." And he said that this is my toxic trait, but I only do it because I don't want no confusion.
Why he said a
Uh,
toxic trait.
How do y'all feel about that?
I think that like that comes with non-communication. That makes, yeah, that is very toxic. Because say your boyfriend left the top off the toothpaste and then left the toilet seat open and then left the toilet roll empty and then left all these things, it's like it's now a pattern and you're just like, I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm just gonna keep putting the top on, keep putting the toilet paper
Keep
on,
letting it build
but
up.
I'm gonna stop talking to him for a week. It's like you're moving different, but you didn't tell your partner you didn't tell your partner that you were mad at them, and that's a little weird. You have to
Oh.
communicate.
There's people out here that do that.
Yeah, I do agree
And
with
that's
you.
bad and that's unhealthy as hell.
Hmm.
But like if I feel like I think there comes a time where like you don't have to say everything that's on your mind.
Right.
But I think that when you're talking in the aspect of you just have to move different, that means something's pissed you off so much that you're changing your whole demeanor to that person. And if it's your partner, you shouldn't change your whole demeanor to your partner. You should
Right.
talk to them to see if they're going to change it. If they don't change it, then maybe you either might need to
And we're
break
gonna
up.
broaden this out because I didn't say
Okay,
anything about a
sorry.
partner.
Oh,
No, you can stay on partner, but just for everybody else's understanding, Ken said
yeah.
preach. Ken said preach. Ken 28. But this is for everybody else. I didn't say partner, so just broadening it out. Like even with your friends, your family, how do y'all feel about that? Now, I do agree with
Oh,
you. I when
friends, definitely.
in any scenario, I do agree with you. Like that is toxic
It
because
is.
now, because what I said is I said I'm gonna move different. Period. So if you're gonna move different off of some little shit like toothpaste or shit that build up, then that is a different story, and you're not communicating.
Yeah. With
So I
friends,
do
I
agree
totally
that
agree.
that is a toxic trait for somebody to have. I have replied back, and I did say something, and I told them that I don't feel like it's toxic with them speaking up, and I said a bunch of other shit, but I basically told them at the end of the day, you can't let niggas make you feel like you can't speak on how you feel. You have to let some shit out and some other stuff that I said, but I
I think with
basically
friends,
agree with you. What you say?
Yeah.
I think with friends, definitely move differently. If you feel like you've already discussed the same behavior that they keep displaying, it's like maybe you don't want to end the friendship because they're not doing something so bad and harmful, but I'm not about to fool with you every weekend. I don't
Well,
have
now
to.
that's toxic because now you're moving different on me and you're not speaking up.
But did you just say that you shouldn't have to do that?
I said you shouldn't have to hold your tongue. I said speak.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure, I got that
I
wrong.
said that's not toxic if you speak up.
Oh,
I'm the nigga that's never gonna say don't speak because I'm always direct with everybody. Everybody that know me, I'm direct with them because I
um,
can't hold that on me. I hold like that shit really like sleep. When I go to sleep at night, it's in my brain.
I feel
I
like
mean,
I'm only direct with people that I care about, like, because I could really care
yeah.
less about most people in my life. But like, if you're like one of my really good friends, family, somebody that I love, like, I'll be direct as fuck. And then if you're somebody that like I don't really give two shits about, you'll get the bare minimum jazz. That's just that's
I
my
agree with you. I
That's
think that
reserved
like you don't
energy.
have to give everybody everything. You don't have no. My uncle told me this. Not everybody needs a conversation. Like I don't have to have a conversation with everyone that I have an issue with. That's dramatic a little bit. I think if you care enough about the person, then have the conversation. I think that you have to be open to their response though, because what you may feel like is happening could not be happening on their end. And they could be feeling like they started moving differently with you. So you have to,
Mm,
I think that if you're going to speak up, be prepared for what's going to come
yeah.
with the conversation. Like you have to be prepared for a conversation. That's
Hmm.
why not everything needs a conversation. If you care about the person, then have it. But you have to be open to what they're saying as well. And that's how communication.
right, right.
That makes
What
sense.
are
I
your
agree.
thoughts on that?
I definitely agree because, like, for me, like that's a lot of that's a lot of my energy that I'm putting out when I'm actually
Mm-hmm.
giving somebody like my honesty and like expressing how I actually feel instead of like just walking away and just letting it be.
Right.
Like that's a lot, and I don't do that with everybody. I do it with people that where I care about the relationship because I know myself. Like if I don't talk about something and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like I'm eventually gonna drift because you're not. Sometimes I feel like people, as people, we should just know what's wrong and what's right. Like when you do somebody dirty, and when you're doing something that's like gonna piss somebody off because we see what pisses them off while we're hanging out with them, and
Exactly.
we pay attention to those things. So I feel like
Right.
for me to explain those things that's right in front of your face,
Then we
it's
not as
like,
close.
yeah,
Would
it's
help out.
like, you know, one, where's the respect? So I'm already, I'm already giving you that. Okay, I'm gonna take that disrespect that you gave me and express myself, and still listen to what you have to say. So, like, understand that that's not what most people get because I could give two fucks about somebody else's relationship, but I care about ours, you know?
Mhm.
Shabazz said, "Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions."
I was going to say that too. Like you have to take a step back
Yeah.
and maybe was what this person said malicious or
Mm-hmm.
was it something else and I could be taking it as malicious
Yeah.
because that's how miscommunication happens
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's because, it is because a lot of people don't. Like, I
People
I
react.
feel like that tweet. was a toxic trait that I had because
My sweet was a
yes,
toxic trait that you had.
yes, the
Okay, so
response.
hold up. We just go way back because do y'all feel like I'm fucking toxic? Like that was toxic of me? Do y'all feel like I'm toxic?
I
I'm the toxic nigga?
I think that
Do y'all feel like I'm
sometimes you
toxic?
give. I feel like sometimes, Maul, you give too much energy. You give too much reaction without thinking first about what could really be happening in the situation. Because we talked about this last night. You give too much reaction to things that may not be so harmful, and that's something that I feel
I
you
think the
think
two
about.
things uncorrelate that we what we talked about last night and today. Like with me, when I was saying to you yesterday, and I receive everything that you say to me all the time because that's just I just receive it. Like, and you're really on like talking your shit tonight, and I really fuck with that. But with me, it's like I just I always had held my tongue, and I was never articulate growing up, and just like even in my adult ages, like up until a couple years from now, where I let a lot of shit slide that I should never let slide. A lot of shit go past me, and I never spoke on stuff. And I feel like I'm a great communicator, so I don't play about confusion. I don't play about what I don't like because you're not going to do it to me again. Because I'm going to tell you after I've seen it repetitively, we can't do this because I don't do that shit to you, so don't do it to me. And it's just it really boils all the way down to how I want to be treated when I go in certain places, when I'm with certain people. That's really all it is because I don't insert myself in no space that's not for me. Or I don't just, hey, everybody, like, I don't just come, like, that's not the type of person I am. I don't just go in certain spaces and think everybody's supposed to accept me. No. The people, the places, and everybody, the energy that's around me, it needs to be conducive to what it is that I want to have and what I give back. Other than
So
that, I'm not fucking with it.
So what you're saying is that like not what you're saying. So I what people could take from this is one, it does sound like that you are harboring some past feelings and traumas that you feel like you may be one projecting onto someone and maybe overcompensating for how you react to things. Two, it does sound a little bit entitled that everyone should be on your energy and your time
You miss
instead
everything
of
that I said.
what the
You
room is
miss
for, because
everything that I
not
said.
everybody's gonna. No,
You
no,
must have.
I didn't miss.
You missed
I didn't miss.
everything I said.
I did.
You miss what I
It's
said.
the Pinot Gris. It's the 299.
It's definitely the 299 because I said reciprocation. I said what energy I give out. So if I want to give you an energy, like be inconsiderate, be disrespectful to you, I don't want it.
Yeah,
So why is that?
it's
I
the
don't feel like
299.
that's a bad thing. I feel like I analyze a lot of shit, so I feel like I'm very level headed with a lot of stuff. Cause I be in my mind a lot. Like I told you, I overthink. So I be in my mind a lot. So I think and analyze, and I think about what Libras do too. We analyze every situation. Like we analyze all different types, all spectrums of what could go wrong or what the
We
scenario
love
could
you
be.
too, LeRon.
Love you, Lauren. So that's
LeRon.
what I do. Is
LeRon.
so that's what I do. So I feel like, and then you said my reaction to certain stuff. I don't know what you meant by that. What
No,
you
not just
elaborate?
yours. I'm talking about like a general population, like a general consensus of like reactions. Like, do you think that people can be reacting fast to where they feel like they need to have a conversation about something that could not have been as serious as
Yeah, I'm
what
just
they
like Jasmine
perceive?
though. It's like if I don't need to have like with you particularly, if I have a conversation with you, like we spoke on weeks before and stuff, I'm
Yeah.
having a conversation with you because I need you to understand that this shit needs to be fixed, or I
Yeah.
cannot fuck with you anymore. That's just how
Yeah.
I am. I don't sugarcoat shit. I'm a grown ass man. I'm just like I'm my grandma's child. My grandma straight she goes straight at you. Like, and that's why everybody fucked with my grandma because she didn't bite her tongue. And
Yeah.
everybody, and my grandma, and when she spoke out of love. And that's what I do. I feel like I do. I speak because I care. When I speak about certain shit that I really care about, and I tell you, and I explain myself, first of all, explaining myself, it's like, niggas don't, everybody don't get to explain themselves, or everybody don't want to explain themselves. So if somebody explains themselves to you, I feel like that's a privilege right there. The fact that somebody wants to pour their heart out to notify you about how the fuck they feel. So
Yeah.
me, it's just like I'm gonna just go direct with it. Like, I'm not gonna cut no corners. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is, so that we can come to a resolve as adults. Because I don't hang with no kids that's in kindergarten.
Exactly.
I actually like people telling me in moments where they
She
feel
said we're the
like
same person, like you said.
out low.
Yeah, she said you're the
Yeah,
same.
I told her, I was talking to her before I got with you all. But
Are
No,
you a
she
I
said me and
actually,
her
Gemini?
are the same person.
because she's a Libra and
Oh,
she
you
acts
did tell me
just
that last
like you
night. You
are.
said we act just like.
Yes, I told you last night that she's literally the
You
same
did tell
person
me
as you. I was
that.
like, this person, it's so weird. It's
Hey, friends.
strange.
Hey, twins. That's tough.
But like, I actually respect someone that can tell me in that moment, like, hey, I don't like that. Because I'm the type of person that likes to move, like, oh, I don't want to disrespect my friend, and now I know. So
Right.
personally, I like people telling me. If we have to put in that perspective, I like people telling me what they do and do not like, so that we don't continue and you feel like it's a pattern and then you're yelling at me and I'm confused.
Yeah,
If that makes
I
sense.
don't, and that's what I do try my most best to do is to maintain my my posture and my poise before coming at people because people always tell me, even my friend Mars that live here, they tell us all the time, like, y'all so fucking aggressive. And I never knew that I was an aggressive ass nigga. Like, I never knew that, but it's from where I'm from. It's just how we are. Like, Philly that's just how we are. We're aggressive, but we don't mean no harm. It's just, so I
It's just how
adapted
we
that,
explain
and now I
ourselves.
have to change. I have to change because people are taking it as like I'm coming at them, and I don't want them to do that.
But I mean, that's so you're saying that, and it's not fair to
Hey,
you.
hey, hey,
What?
why you look like that?
Because I at one point I felt like that too, but all right. So listen, I ain't trying to sound toxic, but it's like that's part of who you are. You know, like if someone is trying to get to know you, well, then again, you're right. Because if you're being aggressive, somebody take it as you're being aggressive. You can try to take it down a little bit,
No,
but
I
like you
see
said,
what you're
it's
saying.
yeah,
I
it's
think it's
like when you're from a
gaslighting.
certain area.
Like, that's your personality. That's part of your
Yeah.
personality. Like, there are some people, and then wait, it comes to compatibility because you're not compatible with everybody that you befriend either. So it's like, you know, if they're not feeling that vibe or if they can't understand it, then they just know what type of people they can befriend.
Right.
I think it comes with like one, it sounds, I feel like when people say like, because with you and with Lo, I feel like you all have very type A personalities, and I don't take it to heart because I feel like, oh, you're not coming at me with malice. I think when people say, oh, you're being aggressive, it's kind of like gaslighting just a tinge because you're not understanding where I'm coming from, and that's not fair, but you want me to understand where you're coming from with how you
Right.
say. When you said to me, you were like, I feel like some of the times gay men do shady, like say the shade comments, and I don't know if it's to be funny or to be
Hmm.
mean. And
Hmm.
so if you have to understand that, then they should be able to understand where you're coming from.
I agree.
So I think it's a both ways type of thing. So
Yeah.
that's why I feel like it's a little bit of gaslighting when people are saying like you're aggressive. I think that you can have a aggressive personality, but I don't think you're an aggressive human being.
It's a difference. There you go. Like
There's
it's
this
not like I'm being aggressive to be to come at you.
mean.
Like to
Yeah.
come at your neck. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's just your energy. Your energy is
That's
up
just your
like that.
personality.
Yeah.
Just
And it's your environment that you were raised. I mean, if you tell somebody I'm from Philly, I think 99% of the world knows that Philadelphia is like in a very like we're forward, we're gonna be like this. I don't think anyone does not know that Philly is like New York. It's like very fast, like come
Hmm.
on
Yeah.
type of thing. Sorry, that's just my
What did
take.
Lo say? She said they want you to come at them and soft and kiss their ass. Nah, be she said, nah, on befriending me and continuing a friendship, you know I'm a straight shooter out of love. I'm not sorry, I'm stern. I probably read all that shit real wrong.
We got what you
Um,
said.
somebody said, oh, Joel Music said, I'm just here, but I really like this convo. I'm often misunderstood myself.
so
Joel, we appreciate you being here.
we do
Jay
appreciate
Howell.
you. So
Jay Howell,
do you
I
believe
can't read.
you can't read, just let it go.
I can't read.
So do you guys believe that toxic love is more normalized in the Black community?
100%.
I
Yes.
don't know why.
100%.
100,000%.
I think we're told to stay often for way too long. I think that black people are told to stay and deal with it because life is, this and
Rough.
that. And it's like, no, we don't have to stay and deal with bullshit.
Yeah, because like we're just engraved in thinking that, oh, we have to be able to take everything, because if you're able to
Pain
take
level.
everything, you're the strongest, and you want to be the strongest. You want to be that person, but it's like that's not reality.
No.
At all. You don't have to take someone's bullshit for more than one time, to be honest.
Yeah. When somebody shows you one time that they don't really fuck with you, they don't really fuck with you. And you know that because a lot of the times when we do that ourselves, we do it because at the end of the day, we don't really fuck with that person. And we know that.
Right.
Maybe it's somebody that did us dirty, but we still wanted to be friends. We still wanted to be friends, and it's like, okay, but then when they have a situation where you could be that person that's doing them dirty, you don't give a shit because it's like, all right. I mean,
Do
they
you
did it
think
to me,
that
so whatever.
do you think that black people do you think that we have a problem with letting go of the feeling of loving someone? If that makes sense. And
Say
that's
that one more
why,
time.
do you
Jay
think that
said,
black people, we lack the ability of letting go of the love
You
for
mean like of
someone?
being alone,
Oh yeah.
or just
Uh,
like loving somebody in general?
are you talking about relationships or are you talking about like relationships as a whole?
It could
Those
be overall relationships, because most people that have attachment issues, that stems from the
attachment issues.
relationship they had with their parents.
Okay, yeah,
attachment
that's what I
issues,
mean.
I think because they also have abandonment issues. And Jay
Yeah, well,
said, I
yeah,
That I'm
think
gonna say
so.
that.
He said a lot of us grow up not you. He said a lot of us grew up not seeing healthy relationships, which is
that's
And that
also
goes
a
into
that's
that
a
thing.
part.
fact.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my friend, one of my friends she had fucking really really bad abandonment issues, where she would be attached to every nigga that she dealt with. because she just didn't want them to. Her mom had abandoned her, and then her mom died while she had abandoned her because she had left and came to Atlanta with her sister, her oldest sister, and her brother, and tried to live a better life. They put her in middle school and high school here from Maryland, and then her mom died while she was here, and then her dad lived in Maryland and never gave a fuck about none of them. So she was just like, she was so clingy towards people because she didn't want to feel that abandonment, I guess.
Yeah, and definitely, like I think when it comes to like those type of situations, I feel like people need to learn how to be alone first before they even get into,
I
dating or
think
anything like that.
I feel like in those situations they need to be alone, but I feel like in that sense, like you need to go to some type of therapy,
Therapy.
That too,
and
yeah.
you need to really understand why you're acting that way. Because you could get comfortable with being alone, and that could be worse because then it's like you still don't
Depression.
realize where the issue is coming from. You just
Hmm.
realize that, okay, I'm cool with being alone. And that's the shit that I did to myself because I got comfortable with being alone before I acknowledged where my toxic traits came from, or like why I allowed myself to experience something or like be content with something instead of just walking away. Like I got content with being alone first, and it's like I should have done it the opposite way because it wouldn't have taken me this long to figure it out. But
I
And
mean,
and
I
we were
was
going
like
to we were going to
25.
speak on, do you believe toxic love stems from your upbringing?
Yeah, 100%.
hmm I know for me, it has because I have seen a piece of whatever toxic thing I experienced as a child come up
Hmm.
in a lot of my relationships, which allowed me to come to the conclusion that, bitch, maybe it's you.
Mm.
You know?
Mm,
Because I
How about
didn't
y'all?
exactly,
realize.
Jay. Do you think that maybe it's you and that person doing wrong can exist at the same time though? Or do
It
you feel like,
can.
oh, maybe it's me?
It can. But sometimes we go, everybody comes to in our lives for a reason, right? And like
Mm,
sometimes we continue to date the same type of people because we're not understanding the toxic shit that we experience and how we're supposed to grow out of that. Like
Right.
for me, I that's how I took it as. I was like, okay, like if I'm in a way in hell like I'm gonna be dating these random people that I didn't grow up with. So it's like I have no background information on them really, but ironically they're all the same type of people.
mm,
Like that's a sign that I'm clearly not acknowledging, and until you realize like okay, like maybe I'm supposed to acknowledge something, and then you'll be able to analyze yourself better and not get into those situations anymore because you're not realizing, we don't realize how toxic our childhoods were because that's what we grew up with. That's what we know. That's what we
mm.
look at as normal. Like because the in those little stages of our lives, that information will stick with us for the rest of our lives as normalcy. So it's like when you're going through those situations and when you're not realizing that those are not normal situations, but in your head it's normal. That's how we have people that still continue to, you know, bring on that negativeness into their future and their future families because they're not understanding what's toxic about them. Like there's something toxic about everybody. Nobody's
Yeah.
perfect. We
Right.
all have toxic traits,
Mm,
right? We
Right.
can never perfect this toxic trait. We can never make sure that it doesn't come up, but we can learn how to control it. We
Exactly.
can learn how to maybe we'll black, but we won't black so bad. Like it won't be that bad, but
Yeah, it's all about improvement of self.
it
It
is.
is. It's just all and self discipline because I mean, I, everything toxic is negative. Everything negative is toxic. That's
Hmm.
what I see. That's what I equate toxic to. I equate which is the next thing. What are some qualities of toxic to you?
Yeah, like what
So
are
I want
some red
everybody to answer
flags?
yes. So, but for me, everything negative, anything that is negative is toxic.
Well, your negative might be different from my negative.
Yeah, I'm speaking from what my point of view of negative may be. Like, well,
So
I'm
what
talking
is
about
that?
I'm talking about the point blank negative, like rude, disrespectful, inconsiderate.
But some
Um,
people like dominatrix. They like rude, inconsiderate, inconsistent
Mm.
people
oh,
that will make them feel like shit because they got an issue, but they don't realize that.
I think
see,
my
and that's
toxic
the
trait
issue.
is
I'm about to say
I
most
think
people are
my toxic
toxic.
trait is overextension.
You're what?
I, I think my toxic trait is like overextending myself to people, like being the person to always care about just a stranger's story because I like equate like the whole sentiment of, you never know what someone's going through. Your interaction with them could be their last. And I feel that since I overextend myself a lot, to have that sort of protection and peace, like just in general, like at the bar, if I like talk to someone, I want them to know that like, if you feel weird or you're alone or something, you can always come up to me and talk to me. And I think that leaves room for bad energies to always come into my space
Hmm.
and me not realizing that I'm taking on that person's stuff
Yeah.
Hmm.
because I'm overextending my love to someone. I think that's a toxic trait, and I don't think that's negative, but I don't think that it's positive.
So I was on TikTok the other day,
This
and
ain't no TikTok shit. Go ahead.
yeah, and they like for me, my thing that I've been working on with myself is like trying to understand how my upbringing grew me. What am I trying to say? How my upbringing made me to be the person that I am, and like what toxic traits I have about myself because I want to just acknowledge them because I see it in relationships. Like if you had, like I said before, if most of your romantic relationships are negative, there's something that you're missing. So like that's what I've been trying to figure out. And I came across a video on TikTok and it was like, what if you grew up with a narcissistic parent, you feel like you're an adult right now and you feel like you love people or in every relationship you've had you've loved them more than they've loved you, like it's more than likely because you grew up with a narcissistic parent and you grew up learning how to control the adult an adult's emotions. So like they were like you had to make sure that you didn't you had a good day, that you didn't do anything wrong, that you like everything was perfect. Everything had to be perfect so that you would have a good day. And like I grew up with that. So it's like I didn't really realize how that negativity turned me into a toxic entity. And I didn't want to acknowledge it because I was like, why would I be toxic? Like, there's no way. There's no way that I'm toxic. There's no, I can't be toxic. Like, no.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree. Like, and I honestly think it's true, because same here. Like,
Hmm.
like you grow up with a toxic parent or, a narcissist parent and, you just kind of fall into meeting those same type of people and it's weird, and I kind of like. I think a few situations taught me that, but I think my last situation really taught me that. That I,
What happened in your last situation?
My last situation told me that too.
What happened in your last
Not even
situation?
shocked. He's over there shocked as a bitch.
Right. I'm like, what happened in your last
um,
situation? Like, he became a
I was just
mannequin.
I was just naive to a lot. I was naive to a lot. I wouldn't even
To
say
shit that
Trust
they
naive.
was
me.
I
actually
just wasn't.
doing.
I just wasn't following my gut. I wasn't following my gut. I was ignoring my intuition, and it got to the point where I was like physically getting sick because my body was telling me something that I wasn't trying to believe. And
Wow.
at the end of it, it was like how things were exposed and what I was told. It was like,
Mm.
okay, I'm dealing with a narcissist, and I have to escape. So when I escape, I realized, it's a pattern.
Oh, it was because you were dealing with a narcissist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've never dealt with a narcissist. Y'all want to read what Jay said?
Hmm. There's a lot. A lot of broken souls out here, no matter the race. People underestimate their loneliness. So we attach to watch we think sees us and helps fill. Oh, so we attach to what we think sees us and helps fill the voids. Hmm. I see what you're saying. I grew up loved, very understanding parents too. I think I'm just an empath and I'm always trying to fix people, which is how I end up dating the wrong people.
Yes.
Sometimes good people just get the short end of the stick. You may not be
Yeah,
toxic, lol.
yeah.
No.
That's what I was
Here's
thinking.
here's why it is toxic. Because you can't trust everybody and you can't expect everybody to be like you. That you have to protect yourself. Like your entity is your first love. And that goes in our self-love challenges that we'll be starting next week.
Yes, yes.
Um but yeah, so like you have to, because you're putting yourself through so much. A lot of people do not put themselves through so much because you don't have to deal with it. You don't have to. What are you trying to prove to yourself? That you're indestructible? That you can
Yeah.
take every type of negative thing? That you can get through everything? You know that you can get through shit. You don't have to physically go through it. There's a lot of stuff that people don't experience.
I don't think that it's just that. I think that people are also desperate in some situations. We have to go right to it, okay? Because I can agree with that feeling because I believe personally that I'm a good person too. But I can see manipulation, and my dumb ass will still walk right into it and be manipulated. So it's the discernment of, first of all, no, hold up, not even discernment. It's about loving yourself more than you want to be loved by somebody else. And niggas that don't understand, it don't hit for them. It don't hit for you until you've been hurt and your heart has been fucking, your heart has been tired. And your heart, like your heart literally, if you, I don't know if there's anybody in this live right now that has ever been through some shit with a person that they liked or that they was in love with and that y'all was done and your heart hurt. When your heart hurt, that shit does not feel good. Like if you've ever had that experience, if you haven't, then if it have ever happens to you, it's going to be a wake up call for you because that's when you realize the shit that you should have known in the time that you were dealing with the person and the shit that you should have paid attention to that you tried to block out, the red flags, all of that shit. It comes back to you as you reflect in those moments of darkness and you see, well, shit, like I could have prevented this. I could have prevented me from being in this place of hardship with myself because of all the shit that I let fly and go past with you. So I don't think it just has anything to do with you being a nice person and us just ending up with certain people. I think it has to do with the fact that you just allow yourself to be in that space. You just allow yourself to be in those particular spaces because you want that. You desire that companionship, whatever it is, whatever you want with that person, you desire that. So you let
I
it
think
fuck you
also,
up.
I think also a lot of the times, a lot of people feel like, oh, I put myself in situations like I'm so nice or whatever, but that can lead to being always the victim and putting
Mhm.
yourself in situations that you're going to be the victim. And
Exactly.
then you know what's going on and you're trying to make it work. And then it's like it ends and you're like, oh my God, like I was just so nice. It's like you had that same situation happen with Tommy 2 years ago. So how are you
Right.
so nice and you put yourself in a situation to be talked down to and stuff like that
Hmm.
all the time?
Yeah.
That's why I say it has to do with you understanding the shit that you're going into. You're not, and this brings us to our bullet point of being in a toxic environment affecting your mental. And did you see a change in your personality slash energy when you were in that space? And like I said, for me, like I talked about this on the last podcast, when I was in the situation that I was in 2019, I literally was a negative ass person because the person that I was dealing with was negative as fuck.
Mhm.
He talked about everybody. He didn't give a fuck who it was. He could be a little kid, a little baby. He always wanted to argue with me. He always wanted to banter, go back and forth, bicker. It was always a nit and pick about something. It was always just a negative thought out of his mind. Like we had moments where I had to bring us in, like because I'm such a chill nigga, especially when I'm dealing with somebody in a relationship or dating. I'm so chill. Like I like to let you be the shining star, and I just because I'm just like that way. I feel like I'm like that way in general. So more so in the dating stage, I'm just gonna let you be the shining star. I'm just gonna let you like power over me. And as far as personality wise, and he was so like I let him do that, and myself started to evaporate and then go into who he was. And when I came out of it in June 2019, my friends and them was telling me all the shit. Yeah, I seen this, I seen that. Damn nigga, why you let me stay in there for all the months? Why? Why would you let me stay in it all those months?
Well,
You
because it's
seen
our
it.
decision. Like
It
nobody
is
can
all
It's
our.
tell
not their
you. No,
decision.
anybody can be like, "Oh, I don't think that's good for you." In that moment, and you like that person, and your feelings are all in there. You're clouded. You're gonna be like, "Bitch, why
Hmm.
are you so
No,
damn nosy? Why are
I
you in my
need friends like
business?"
that. I need friends like that. No,
But do you
because that
think that
can
you
lead to
felt the
destruction.
resentment? Do you think that you felt the resentment of giving them all and then they were taking advantage of? Because when you give somebody something, once you take it away, it's going to be toxic in general. Like, do you felt that you started feeling resentment in a way that you gave so much
Yeah, I've
of
resented
like
it.
the
Yes,
shine?
fuck yeah, I've resented it
Yeah.
because I should never put myself in that position to
Tell us
be
how you
to
really
be
feel.
to be in a negative. I'm not a negative person, so when you suck my positive energy out of me because I wanted to be so connected to you, and you start sometimes when you're around somebody like this man, like we slept together basically every other day. His job was near my house. We he set aside like specific days on the weekend. Every Sunday was like Sunday that we have together. Nobody else can intervene. Like nobody else can intervene. That's our day. Like, and he showed qualities that I liked, but then those negative qualities overpowered it. And when I came out, I was looking at myself like, who the fuck am I? And I had to go back to being me because I let that shit, that toxic shit, take over my entire. It took over my environment. It took over me. So I didn't even know that. I didn't even know I was letting myself go like that.
I was in a friendship like that too. But
Tell us about it.
I feel, oh no. It's
Why not?
so. Well, I mean, I will. I mean,
Are
I
you
was in a
talking
friend.
about?
I
Therapy,
will, but
therapy,
like,
for a
I
reason.
was in, I was in a
Yo,
friendship that I felt that like, oh, I feel like what I was succumbing myself to wasn't healthy for me. And then I was doing things that I felt like, oh, that's not the type of person I am, like such as talking about people that I necessarily wouldn't feel. And with that person, I would be like, oh, that's not nice. Like, you know, that's a stranger. Like, don't talk about them. It's, you talk about people all the time. And it's like, okay, we're supposed to be friends. We're talking about things amongst our friends. We're not talking about a random stranger on the street. And so I felt like when I was open, like saying like, hey, that's not nice, I was being gaslighted. And I found myself starting to become very negative and not open to a lot of like positive things in general. Like, I'm a type of person that I love being in big social scenes or like just little social scenes. I like a lot of things. Like, I love things. And I started noticing that I was like, oh, I hate this. Oh, I hate that. Ugh, why are we here? I hate this. And I started like, my likes started getting smaller.
Right.
And once that friendship ended, I was like, oh no, I do like this. Like, I do like quirky things. I do like different things.
You
And
see
I felt like I
yourself again.
started, yeah, and I felt like I lost my true self and like my quirkiness and like this because I was so taught in that friendship to be poised and that's corny, that's not cute, that's not cool, that's not this. And I started feeling like I was in a box of just like nothing, of just like, and once I got out of that friendship, I was like, wow, like I feel free. So I feel like that in a friendship too.
That's how I felt with my old job. Like, I just felt like my boss was so negative. Like, she, to the point, like, we got into arguments because I wouldn't, like, be rude to a customer service representative because their order was late. It's not the customer service representative's fault. Why would I yell at her? Like, you're a 70-year-old lady throwing a temper tantrum.
Right.
So, like, she would say to me, she'd be like, oh, well, I'm just, you know, I'm able to just handle things better than you. That's it. And I said,
Gaslighting.
yeah, like, well, that's what she does. And, you know, at 70 years old and you're still doing that, that just says a lot about you. And I already knew that, like, me and her, we're not on the same level. I don't care that our finances are different. We're not on the same level. We're just not there. You're not there with me. I have a higher vibration, and I'm going to stay there. And whatever you say, it's still not going to make me go to, you know, your negativeness. So, like, that's why I'd left. And I didn't realize just how she was affecting me until I got this new job, because it's like you could just feel the energy shift. Like, you literally feel it. Like, you feel the difference. I really don't know how to explain it.
No, you just explained it.
Okay, great.
No, that's true. Yep. It's the same way. Yep. Same way.
Isn't it? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird to think that like you don't want to give at all grace to people of different generations, but you almost have to, because mental health was not a topic in different generations. Like, this is a new thing, and so we're realizing things, but I feel like our generation, just a tinge, doesn't give grace to older generations in the fact that they didn't have the space to realize their toxic traits. Because saying like, oh, she's 70, she still has that same demeanor, but it's like, she was so, I'm not giving anybody grace because that's toxic of me. See, I'm about to do it. But I'm just saying,
do it.
Like, where do we give grace to different generations not knowing how to deal with mental health?
So
Just a question.
I don't really know if it's a mental health thing or if it's like,
A nasty ass personality trait.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just you just don't have respect for other people. Like I said before, we all know right from wrong. We all know what offends people and what doesn't offend people. She knows that she's a manipulator, and she knows it because I had another employee that like blacked on her, and she made sure she knew that everybody in the area I was at talked shit about her, and everybody knows that she doesn't have a good relationship with her kids, etc., etc. Now, she said all this, and the girl was like mad because she was like, "You just don't know how to talk to people, and you need to learn how to talk to people." And my boss was just worried about what people were saying about her in the streets because she was like, "How does she know? How does she know that thing about my kids? Like, who's talking about me?" Like, so she just cares more about the facade, and a lot of people care
Image.
about the facade because that's what we see, like on social
Man, fuck
media.
her. Okay,
You know,
fuck her.
not fuck her.
So you spoke on yours, Heem, right? Anthony said, "Yeah, I feel like we lose ourselves sometimes when we become attached to someone because we put so much energy into them." Exactly. That's what happened to all of us. Did you have another, or did you have anything else to elaborate on with that specific topic, Heem?
Mm-mm.
All right. So we're gonna go into has toxic love and non-genuine people made you trust less? I'll say yes for me.
Did you guys
I
hear
don't
the
trust
question?
nobody.
Wait, say the question again.
I
Sorry.
said, has toxic love and non-genuine people made you trust less?
It's so for me.
It made me trust less. Um, but uh, I think last year I got to the point where I realized, I can't keep letting one bad situation keep me from, other situations, upcoming situations. So, um, it's okay to have your wall up, um, always have your wall up. I always tell people this, people always make it seem like, oh no, you're never supposed to have a wall up because always have a wall up because you just never know, because that doesn't mean you don't trust nobody. That just means you have a wall up because at the end of the day, when your heart's broken, who's hurting? You. So,
Mm.
you can still trust, but still have that wall up.
It seems like we had the same realization last year together.
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
I
I
said,
think I think that I think that like having a wall up too is different from other people. Like my wall is friendly. It may seem friendly, but I don't get close with people. Like I don't show people my true self. Just because I'm friendly doesn't mean that I'm giving myself, my true self to other people. I can
Yeah.
still say hello, laugh with people, never meet a stranger, but I'm not giving myself to strangers or even to people I consider friends all the time. It takes a minute for that wall to be broken down. And I think that people have different types of walls and they
Yeah.
just need to know what their wall is and how
Some
to,
obvious, some walls more obvious than others. Yeah.
yeah. Because some people can be stonewall, but some people can be giving you everything. And hell, you don't even know their last name. They could be the nicest person in the room. And what was their last name? Because they didn't give you anything. They just gave you personality, but you don't know anything about them. So that could be their wall as well. I mean, reality TV it's like the perfect example. We think we know these people, but they're only giving us
what we want, or what they
what
want
you
us to
want.
see, what they want to be
Mm-hmm.
portrayed as, or what the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
storyline
don't know
might say
anything
they
about,
are.
right, but we know nothing about their, like, who they are. So I
Right.
think that people need to, like, know what's a wall and what's not a wall, if that makes sense.
Makes
It
perfect sense.
definitely does.
What were you going to say, Jasmine?
I was agreeing. Like I agree with both of you. Like I definitely feel like you do have to keep your wall up. There is a balance. You don't always have to your wall doesn't always have to be negative. Like because at the same time you do want to build genuine relationships with people. And if you're going to be like, "Oh, no, I don't trust the world any day at any given moment." Like you're going to realize you're not building anything with anybody, and that's not life for me. Like I
And
want to
you're
build.
exuding negative energy. You could be
Yeah,
exuding negative energy when you're so like
and you don't
hell
even
bent
realize it,
on,
and you're like, why
yeah,
am I not attracting anybody? And it's like,
yeah.
oh
It's
well,
like, well,
maybe I have to
bitch,
look at myself.
right? You giving a stank face to everybody at the club. Then why are you here? So it's like your
Exactly.
wall doesn't have to be negative. I like that. That was
Yeah,
good.
you
Team,
thank you,
team,
honey.
team, 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 team.
This is why
Anthony
we got the
said,
self-love challenges coming up.
Anthony
I
said,
know
he's
that's
right, keep the
right.
wall up. He said, honestly, just be cautious but loving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
yeah.
you don't have to be negative to be negative. If that makes sense to you people, then you're here with me. If it doesn't,
Elaborate.
you still got work to do. So
Elaborate.
that means like to show somebody to show somebody that they're not acting a certain way, they should be acting a certain way around you. Like you don't have to be like rude to somebody that's being rude to you to show them that they're being rude to you, because kindness takes you very far. And we know just how annoyed a lot of people get when you respond to their negativity with
That's right.
kindness. They get extremely upset to the point where they look even more foolish, and then you're just like, but what's the issue?
I agree because kindness doesn't have to be your weak. Kindness is not weakness. Everybody always says it, but I
It's
don't think people
strength.
know that
It's definitely a
kindness
definition.
is not weakness. Just because I'm being nice to you doesn't mean I don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
I'm catching it. I'm just making you look dumb.
Yeah, exactly. And kindness definitely isn't weakness. And anybody that thinks that kindness is for the weak, you need to read. You need to read books,
Read.
and you need to understand what emotions are, because the person on reality TV shows, right? The person that gets the most clout is the one that shows the most energy, the one that gives off the most negativity, and the one that's like always ready to be like, I'm ready to square up
Mm-hmm.
no matter where, whatever, whoever, boom, it's happening. And the person that's like always quiet, or they may not talk about every situation, they're looked at as weak. Or they might be like trying to diffuse the situation by not saying what they really feel in negative words. They're using kind words, but they're still
We
saying
love
how
you
they
too,
feel.
Anthony.
And they're like, what'd you say?
I said, we love you too, Anthony. He said, you
Oh,
guys are like my weekly ritual. I love
oh
y'all.
yay. But so like you see that the negative person always gets more clout, and it's like, no, the negative person, the person that's giving all of that emotion, all of that energy, they don't know how to control themselves. When you master control, you're able to master a lot of things. Like I would
Yes.
highly recommend for a lot of people to read the 40 Laws of Power. Is it 40, 50,
I
40?
don't know. I've never heard that book, Chad. I
There's
need
a
to read that.
it was a great book that I read over the pandemic, and that like helped me see a lot of myself, and like how I was like deteriorating myself, and I was over here trying to blame everybody else. But like at the end of the day, we can't control everybody else. So the
See,
fact that I'm even thinking that it's everybody else is crazy, because I can't control what people do to me, but I can control how I react. I can control what I allow into my life. I can control who I allow into my life. I can control most things that have to do with myself. And that's like what a lot of people got to realize. I think
I think
48 laws of power. There we go.
I think when you really master that, like, self-awareness
Hmm.
and like knowing that like you allow a lot of things, you're gonna be like perfect in life.
You
It'll
can't be
help you.
perfect, though.
Well, not
Perfection's not
perfect,
real.
but like you can move healthier in life when you realize like, oh, what did I do in this situation to allow this to happen? When you realize that you allow a lot of things to happen, you're like, okay, let me take a step back and let me see what I can do differently.
Yeah.
I think that helps. Like, it makes you live healthier.
Everybody has it. It has to do with ego. Like, in order to really understand yourself and analyze yourself, you have to admit when you put yourself into situations that you blamed other people for, and you have to admit that you are the issue to some of these things. And it's like, to admit that's like, oh my god.
Sucks.
It
Accountability.
does suck, because it's like, fuck, like it's like a
It's like, God
like,
damn it.
you're acknowledging what you already know because you fucking do it yourself. But like, to acknowledge it, that's hard, because it's like you're like switching your brain. Like, you're now choosing to realize everything that you've been doing, and you're choosing to try to flip the script and change everything. Like, it's like you're going through a
Yeah. I mean, you're technically manipulating the situation and how you could be the victim in these situations that didn't pan out your way.
Well,
Technically.
like, so that you're still a victim, but it's the fact
Yeah.
that, like, sometimes we allow negative situations to shape
Yes,
our
you can ask
future.
questions. You can ask questions.
You
And
definitely can ask questions.
I Speak Jersey said, you just got to take that L and keep moving.
Exactly. But that's the part that a lot of people don't get. Take the L and keep moving.
Well, I
Like,
just have to say, in everything that you guys were saying before we go on to the next part, which is going to kind of go into this, I'm not going to ask the question yet, but just because you have positive and non-toxic attributes doesn't mean that you don't contribute toxicity.
mhm.
So I want niggas to understand that and know that too. You're not exempt, because there can be a little thing, there can be minute things, there can be things that you just are not
We're
seeing,
all a little
which
toxic.
can have toxicity in certain cases that you've contributed and you may not know. That's why it's very important every 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 day, every week that you can, to evolve as a woman, as a man, to be more developed in understanding of who you are, self-awareness, like we said, and just reflect on certain situations and scenarios that you're in, and realize and see what it was that was done towards you and what it was that you did. Because some people egg people on in certain cases where it could not really be as extreme as it was going to be, but because you wanted to be a person that kind of instigated or did some small shit towards the person, it developed into something much bigger. So, and you can be very well be a calm person. You can very well be a person that's not toxic and not negative at all. But certain things you just have to be very mindful about what you do in certain environments, and also be mindful that just because you feel like you're not being offensive doesn't mean that everybody else will receive it that way.
So Edwin's,
Edwin's, go ahead.
there we go. Oops, I don't know what just happened. All right, so Edwin said, how would you handle a close friend going back to their toxic ex repetitively? Oh my gosh, I'm going through this right now.
That's not your
You guys
shit.
answer so I could figure it out.
That's not your
I would
shit.
just be, that's not your, yeah, that's not your thing. It's
That's not your
like,
shit. Don't make it your shit.
Yeah,
Don't make it
that's how I
your
feel
problem.
too.
Yeah, it's not yours.
Well, I have a friend
But I
that
would be
keeps
the one to
going
talk
back
about it.
to. Well, but it gets like sticky, because it's like you don't want to really dibble and dabble in the situation that you might not know all the details about, because in situations like that, you more than likely don't know everything that's going on, and you just don't know a lot. So it's, and you don't want to
I
say the
would have to
wrong
tell them,
thing.
don't tell me shit, okay? Because if you're gonna keep going back,
Be
you're
supportive.
bringing the
I
bullshit
don't
to
believe
me.
that. Okay, this is the
Exactly.
situation I have. I have a friend that keeps going back to an abusive relationship, and they have a child together.
You talked about this.
I do. And it's like, I don't know how to, because she's now told me that she is pregnant again by the same abusive person. And it's like, I'm happy for her that she's having another kid, but like, I know everything that this man has done to her. So, and that's like, I care about her. So it's like,
Why do you no? Stop, everybody, because I can't. We can't do this today. If you
Okay.
are my friend, why are you bringing? Okay, you might be in a situation that you're in, but this is why you have to choose better friends. This is why you have to choose better people to be around and to be in environments with you, because you shouldn't be bringing that negativity towards me. Now, some shit happens in life where you don't have the strength, you don't have the mental to be able to grasp certain stuff. But that is just a no. Like,
well, I think,
you're bringing constantly bringing that to me as your friend, and I can't even help you. You don't even want me to help you. You're not going
I
to leave the
kind of
situation.
agree.
Why you want to
I
fuck me
kind of
up?
agree.
Why do you want to fuck me up
I
as a
agree.
friend? That's not dope. And I don't want to be your friend if you're a person that's going to do that shit to me. Because I'm sort of an empath too, and I'm sort of a person that wants to resolve situations. I can't see my friend getting fucked up and beat over the head all the time, constantly. You telling me, oh my God, I just got pregnant, I'm having a baby shower, we have to be together. Like, no.
What am I supposed to do with this information?
What am I supposed to do?
I
Because you don't. Because I'm not help. Because I can't
100%
help you.
agree.
So what am I doing? So I'm just a body here. And if some shit really happens to you and you end up fucked up, I'm gonna be the person that knew.
Exactly.
I
No,
think that
I'm
like
done.
there's a
Some
difference
people you
between your
just have to
friend and
leave it
that.
in God's hand and let them go.
I
That's
think
not a
there's a
bad
difference
thing.
between being hearing your friend
Y'all
talk
not
about
gonna come up
toxic
here and
things.
fake with me. I'm not gonna do that soon. I'm gonna go
I
right
think
directly with it. Go ahead, Edwin.
I think there's a difference between your friends dealing with toxic stuff in their relationship and dealing with abusive things. I can't help you. I won't be there to help you. If you can't call 911, that's not my problem. And you're bringing something to me at 2 a.m. He's beat your ass 10 times. What do you
Yo,
need for me to do? I'm not going to harm myself. I'm not about to come to your house and get shot or whatever the hell he's doing to you, doing to me. You're going to have to deal with that on your own, because leave or don't leave. I mean, I don't know what you want me to do.
that was
I
my advice to
100%
you,
okay, you
agree.
guys sound
Edwin,
so ignorant right now, because
Perillis, whatever.
Ignorant. Oh, hold on,
yes,
hold
that's
on, hold on.
ignorant.
Hold on, I'm gonna
How?
give his
Because
name Paralysis. Paralysis, if I'm saying it right. That was my answer to you. I just wanted to clear my answer and get it out the way. I will pray for them and let it go. That's me. Because I don't feel like I should not be friends with somebody who wants to continue to bring that negativity in my life if I can't resolve or help them in the situation. If you're a person like me that wants to do something about it. If I can't do shit about it, I cannot keep you around, because when some shit hit the fan and I'm the person that knew, I'm gonna be fucked up
okay,
as a
that sounds
person.
selfish.
So I'm gonna pray for
Okay,
you.
if
How is this selfish?
somebody,
How is that
How?
You said that
selfish?
sounds
How
selfish.
is
because
that
y'all
selfish?
just did,
We
you've
gotta talk
never
about
dealt,
that.
you guys have never dealt
I
with,
have
you've dealt with abusive relationships?
family members.
And I
I've
have
been
too.
in one,
My
and I
aunt,
And
one of
know,
my
like,
aunt.
close.
mm-mm.
It's not okay, but to say you should get yourself, you shouldn't have gotten whatever, like, to allow yourself to be in a predicament where you are with somebody that is abusing you physically and mentally, like, 9 times out of 10 you've lost yourself, so you don't really know who you are, and
Right.
two, if you're venting to somebody, you're usually venting to somebody that you care about, that you
Who
trust.
cares?
So if they're
I
that
care.
person, or if they thought you were that person, maybe there was just a little confusion in the friendship. But
No, there's no
Wait,
confusion in the
hold on, hold
friendship.
on. So
Excuse me,
what do you
no, because
want me
I
to
say
do?
spoke first. If it's something that you are going through and I cannot help resolve it, the girl's not even, you can't even help resolve it because she keeps going back to him. You can't call the cops, you can't find a report. She don't even seem like she wants you to help her. Do she want you to help her do something? Do she want you to help you get niggas, some
I
goons
don't
to be his
know what the
ass?
Like
girl wants
Medea
me to
said,
Exactly.
get a
She don't
hot
even know
bowl
what
of
she wants you to
grits.
do.
If you don't get a hot
You're
bowl
just
of
a
grits,
body in a situation that could literally go left. You're a body in
if you
that
don't get
you're
a hot
literally
bowl of
somebody
grits,
watching.
like Medea said, if you don't get a hot bowl of grits, like Medea said,
And you
then there's
know
nothing I can do for you. We watched
that's
this
not
numerous
selfish.
times on
If I
TV.
Yeah,
pray
I
for you,
mean,
if I
I'm
It's
pray,
not
not
saying that we're
selfish.
gonna be Captain Save-A-Ho and you have to, let everybody know. Listen, this is what you have to understand. This man does not love you. This baby is not gonna fix your damn relationship. Because some people are just broken. But if that's really your bitch, if that's really your nigga, if that's really your friend, you're not just gonna leave them high and dry.
Well, hold on, hold on. But didn't we just talk
so
about earlier? What are we doing to overextend ourselves? I mean, that's
That's
overextending
overextending.
yourself,
You're right.
and that's
That's a
that's
and
placing
toxic.
that's not
yourself
That's
in
fair.
toxic,
toxic.
exactly, in a toxic environment. And we
That
just
is
talk about
Yeah,
toxic environment.
I'm overextending myself to help somebody that's
Exactly.
getting their head beat over with a frying pan and get pregnant.
when
It
you
don't
like
make no
get your
sense
head
to
beat
me.
over.
So
Not a
if you're not
fire
I
doing
fan.
anything, if you're not
understand.
putting baby oil while
So
I'm in
then,
the shower, put
okay,
baby oil while they get out the shower,
if the
and put
roles
a
were
hot bowl of
reversed
grits.
You better
and you
fight back.
had a niece
Uh-uh.
or nephew
Okay.
they had an abusive, let's say you had a sister had babies,
I have an aunt. I
father
have
was
an aunt that was
abusive,
in it.
I
are
have a
you
cousin.
acknowledging that situation or are you inserting yourself into that situation?
Mom, I'm telling you, one of my aunts was in an abusive situation. My mom is the angel of my life. My mom, there's nothing wrong that my mom can do. My mom moves so thorough. She's such a a thorough ass person. Like,
Yeah.
she moves with such discipline. You would never know my mom could turn up on your ass in a minute, but she's so cool and calm and collected, so nice, so sweet. One of my aunts, my mom has 6 sisters and 4 brothers, so they deep, okay? And we have a big ass family. One of my aunts was going through the bullshit with a nigga. They were on drugs. They were both on drugs. They was doing some pills, whatever pills they was popping. So she was out of it.
Ethan?
Out of it. I'm back. Somebody, am I
What
back?
happened?
Can y'all see me?
Yeah, we see
Oh,
you.
okay.
Yeah,
You
I
you were
mean,
never
Somebody
gone.
had called me. Oh,
you've been
okay.
here
Somebody
since
had called
5
me.
o'clock.
You were never gone.
Oh,
You didn't
okay.
go.
But yeah, so basically, long story short, her and the guy, they was totally out of it too, because they was on drugs. She told my mom everything. Told my mom how he beat her, what happened, dragged her, all of this stuff. Um, my aunts and them was like, we about to go up to his crib, bust his door down, like that nigga finna be dead. He finna be put off the map. She told them no. She said, no, don't touch him. I don't want y'all coming up here. Don't touch him. That's what she said, defending this nigga. What my mom said, she told everybody, go the fuck where y'all go. Everybody, because my mom's the second oldest. My aunt Kenyatta is the oldest. My mom is right under her. She said, everybody go where y'all go. Go on. We're gonna pray for her, and the dude. Hopefully nothing happened, and just leave it at that. Because we're not gonna keep coming outside, getting in our trucks, deep, coming to go get his ass
Gas
when
is
some shit happened
expensive,
to.
honey.
Not even
Especially
that. You
now.
keep getting us out of the bed at 11, 12 o'clock at night to go roll up on somebody that you don't want us to roll up on.
Okay.
Mm.
Getting me out of
No,
character.
that's now you're running us around and making us go through the motions that we shouldn't be going through. So my
I
mom
think what
said,
you can do. Oh, sorry.
so no, I mean everybody just prayed for. Mama was like, just leave it in God's hand and let and talk sense into her every time y'all see her, every time y'all around her, and tell her what she needs to do because she got kids, because she has a kid with him. Like,
I think what we can
and
do to
eventually
be
the relationship went away.
I think what we can do to be selfless is take the kids out of the situation, do things that will take away extra stress. I think that if I care about you, I'm going to do things to take away extra stress if I want to be your friend. But like, or family member, I can take the kids out of the situation. But what I cannot do is keep getting up at 11:30 at night and getting out of character.
Yeah,
I'm
because now your
tired.
toxic
I
life
got work.
is affecting mine.
Right. And I think that okay, there's venting to me, but there's continuously piling things onto me that you're not changing. I mean, it's just I don't
Yeah.
understand how you can expect someone to do something to continuously take
What
on your emotions to
what
make
if
you feel better because
what if that person subconsciously, not subconsciously, but secretly just didn't like you and that's why they always told you those negative
well
things?
damn bitch, we cut you off anyway.
That's crazy. Listen, people are
I'm cutting
very
you off anyway.
toxic nowadays. Very
Okay? Because
toxic.
that's
Is
manipulative.
that your situation?
I
No,
know. What's going
Oh,
on?
okay.
What's
I
the
don't
Look,
think that's my
what's going
situation.
on? Because
I would
I
hope
so
never
your
not.
heard.
friend don't like you.
Yeah,
I
your
would hope
friend.
not. I would hope not. But I mean, okay, so there was something that
Mm.
she did say that made me question why she told me negative things, because she told me once, you know, everybody that knows me knows that I've lost a lot of weight. She told me once that her baby daddy said, "Oh, I don't want you hanging out with Jasmine because all she cares about is her body and how she looks. And I don't need the mother of my kids to be thinking that way."
So how do you feel like that
Bitch,
equates to
what?
her not liking you?
Well, when she said that, our friendship kind of drifted a little bit. And
Mm.
so she periodically calls me now, but because I did look at our friendship differently. But
So she periodically calls you with the bullshit. Okay,
she periodically calls me with the BS. And that's when I
got it.
started to question why she tells me stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I can't fuck with it. I just can't. That's what
Yeah,
I go. It goes back to what I said
yeah, that
earlier.
sounds
It goes
missing.
back to what I give out. I don't want people to give that back to me.
yeah, it's
It's just
Especially that
like
periodically
I
call
don't
me.
think I don't think I'm getting that she I don't think I'm getting that she's like mad at you necessarily than other than finding oh I can project this feeling that I have of not being worthy
yeah.
onto Jasmine.
Well, I'm always worthy, honey. That would never faze me, especially from what I know about that man. Would never. So, like, if she could tell me whatever the case may be that her baby daddy said whatever, it still wouldn't faze me. But it's the fact that she said it.
Right. That's the principle.
Because yeah, if my nigga, if I was dealing with somebody and they were talking shit about one of my close friends, and it's one of my close friends that I know has my back, why would I be one repeating it and two not really putting
No, he
She's already
didn't.
him in
she's
check?
I mean, can I be
Anthony
honest?
said why he invested in you to fuck mind his business, and somebody gonna say because I spent money. Just so to why I spent money on her. That's why. He funny.
Abusers oftentimes isolate their victims. I mean, so we have to keep that in mind that he's trying to you're the person that she's
All
going
right.
to and he
Yeah.
knows. And so he's trying to isolate and manipulate her mind into a
That's what
reason
Kingdom
of
said.
why you are not a good person. So you have to I wouldn't look at it on the end that you may could possibly be looking at more than the end of like he's manipulating her to isolate her and to keep her
And
off of
she's just
himself.
not realizing it.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah. She
weak.
don't
I mean, if
realize.
she's getting beat up outside the head with a pot and pan,
Stop.
pregnant,
Yo, stop.
she's not
Stop.
here anyway.
Because he making
I
me
mean,
laugh and it's not
we on
funny.
trap therapy, we honest.
We
Yeah, you
are.
right. Yes, that's true.
So
This
if she
this
is
could,
getting
like,
beat upside
this
the
could
head with a
help
pot and pan,
with how I either handle our situation, like maybe, I'll bring up one of these terms. But I don't know how you really bring that vision of somebody out, because honestly, you have to do it yourself. You have to be able to acknowledge what it is that you're going through. And I said
Exactly.
this, I say it with love because it's harsh, but at the same time, like, you could try your best to tell somebody, oh, this is what you gotta do. This is what I see in you. But if they don't believe what the fuck is coming out of your damn mouth, your words don't mean shit. Because that's not what they believe about themselves.
And I was going to say the last thing that we have before Wakanda, before we close out, is there a toxic friend in your life? You have one. And have you ever had a toxic friend, and how do you handle them? We just talked about Jasmine's.
Yeah,
'Cause that's toxic.
keep my distance. That's it.
She keep her
That's how
distance
you
with
handle
you too,
it.
and then want to bring the bullshit.
I still keep
I
my
don't get
distance.
it.
Right, you
Well,
told
it's
us we
because,
can
like,
self
when you catch on to the fact that somebody's calling you with negative shit all the time,
Right.
I mean, the last
Oh
time
yeah,
she
no,
called me
you
was
making the right
positive.
move. You doing the right thing. Yeah.
I just don't acknowledge it. Like, the last time she called me, it was positive because she explained to me how she's pregnant. And
Oh, that's positive.
I mean,
Like, yeah.
Yo.
listen to her. It's positive because it's life.
To her.
Okay, there's no such thing as a negative
Right.
baby. All babies are
And
positive.
you get your head beat up
It's the
by a potting
situation
pan,
she's
it's
in.
gonna be.
Exactly. You trying to tell me, I'm getting pregnant, but you're not happily married. You're in an
He's not
abusive
even
relationship.
married. They're just
Exactly.
Hell. Yeah, that's even worse.
Oddwin
She should have
and
been done
Haim,
gone.
have
She
y'all
don't
do
have
y'all
anything to separate.
have y'all ever had any toxic friends, and how have you handled them?
I told you I was naive.
Are
I
you
think
talking
now
about
I'm
the Are
gonna
you
have
talking about the person that?
be quiet. Don't be messy.
No, I'm not being messy.
Let's keep it cute.
I'm not being messy. I'm
Jamal-
just.
Let's not say names. Keep it
on
cute.
No, I'm
Jack.
not saying. I'm not going to say. We don't say names on here. We talk about scenarios and situations. If they know who we talking about, that's on them. They the only person. But you talking about the person that was dealing with the nigga that you was dealing with after you stopped dealing with him?
Okay, you're not gonna tell the whole scenario, but yes, that's who I'm talking.
You know what?
It was the you're not gonna
Can
tell
we
me
stop?
the scenario.
Yo,
So telling the scenario is telling the person. We just didn't say their name, but yes. But I also think that now how I deal with toxic friendships is I used to get mad, and I'm not mad anymore. Like if I see that this person's not doing something that I don't like, I take a step back and I'm like, I'll deal with you from arm's length, and that's how I'm gonna move with you from now on. I don't have to tell you anything. Hell, I'm just not gonna answer your phone calls. Oh, I'm sick.
that's
Oh,
toxic.
I'm in the shower.
That's toxic. That's toxic.
That's not toxic. I'm in the shower. I mean, I didn't feel like calling you back afterwards. It's not my fault.
But you're not communicating. See, the toxic part is not communicating.
Communicating how you feel.
Exactly.
But do we
I don't know,
communicate
man.
with everybody?
But that was somebody that he considered a friend.
Oh yes.
So even if you're
Wait,
gonna
but
dead
you
the
were my
friendship,
side for 2 seconds. Hold on. No,
Because if
it's
it's
not
a
that.
friend,
It's like
you
how many
should
times
communicate.
I'm gonna tell a friend that I've been friends with for a long period of time that I have this issue with you.
You
Oh,
how you
that's
cut it
consider
after
weird.
that point.
Wait, did you say that you
Oh,
spoke about it? Because I guess that part flew
I
past my
did
head.
speak about it with that person, and I found that they changed it for 10 minutes, and then
Yeah,
the
well,
11th
Then you
minute,
should cut
they're
them
the same.
off.
you
yeah,
should.
and just tell him like I'm not
Okay,
fucking with
don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. So how do you
Funny.
deal with it, friend? How do you deal
Well,
with
Anthony
it?
said I will tell them about themselves first, few times, but once it becomes excessive, I just become distant. Okay.
Yeah, I become
Yeah,
distant too
I
Wait, that's
become
because
literally what I just said.
I know I was
become
agreeing
distant,
with
but
you.
if it's
I
a
was agreeing with you
repeated,
afterwards. I was
if
agreeing. I was
yeah,
gonna say why
if it's
I
a
agreed because I definitely like when you're dealing with somebody that knows, or maybe they don't know, but like when you're dealing with somebody that just continuously does things that they know is gonna piss you off, and you've explained it already. Yes,
The
distance
relationship
is
has
what's needed
expired.
because maybe they're like a little too clingy to you. You don't want to, make anything really an issue. So make your distance
I think you
Kingdom
gradually
said
burn
show
adjust
them so
not
that
accordingly.
they
burn bridges as
understand
well.
what's
I
going
think when you cut somebody off, I mean, where do you all differentiate like cutting someone off and not burning bridges? Because I feel like when you cut somebody off, it's kind of burning a bridge when you could just distance yourself. Or
Why
is
do I
that
need a
toxic?
bridge
I'm
that,
about to say, what do
why
you
do
need
I,
the bridge for?
yeah.
because
Hell,
if
you
there's
never know
somebody
who
that
you
you
can
could
meet.
really tolerate, and what if they just do, like before what was said, what if they just do stuff that like
Man, let
pisses
me
you
tell
off
you something.
sometimes?
I cut people off and I burn bridges. And if you think that's burning bridges all the time, because guess what? God got me. None of you niggas don't got me like God got me. So I'm not worried about y'all.
Well, hell, what if that person get you an interview at a job?
Ain't nobody got me shit.
You don't know. Well, we don't know who's gonna be successful.
Ain't nobody got me
What
shit.
when somebody's gonna come
I
back in
hate
their
that's what I
life?
But
don't
that's the
like. See, that's,
it's not
go
even
ahead,
about
E.
that though. It's not even about that. It's really the like I said, it's the friendship. Like if you're in a friendship and that motherfucking shit is toxic and you feel like it's a repeated pattern, but you want to distance yourself, you're putting up with shit that you feel like you don't want to you're not going to want to put up with. And then eventually it's going to be a long lasting problem because you're going to continue to distance yourself from that person. Why distance yourself when you just cut that shit off, keep it moving, and then that's just
Mm-hmm.
that.
Because at the
Right.
Don't you
end of the
feel like
day,
that
people
distance?
change.
Don't you think
Okay.
that distance, everybody distance together? Like, I don't feel like distance is like this person is constantly hitting me up every day. I feel like they notice, and it's like, oh. And then if we see each other,
Why
That's
do they
hey,
even
need to be back
hey.
there?
worse.
Like why do they
We
need to
have
be
to
back?
wrap it up soon.
Yeah, we need to wrap it up,
Oh,
but why
sorry.
do they need to be back there? They don't need to be behind me on my shoulder, have any contact with. If you changed, then I will see that if
I
we end
think
up being in each other's space eventually. And then
so.
I just want to say, when you say like, oh, what if that person blows up, or you never know who you might need in the future? Give
Hold
a
on.
fuck. Doesn't matter about none of that because you have to have faith. See, this is the problem. Y'all don't be having faith in the universe and a higher power. That's why you niggas be stuck. Because y'all want to depend on these people. And they don't give a
Waiting,
fuck
Well,
about y'all.
let me just
waiting.
say something because I want to clarify something, right? Like,
Like,
What you and I meant.
just because, so, okay, distance does not mean, okay, I'm going to keep their phone number in my phone, I'm going to keep their text message. It just means it's going to stay cordial. Like, you're not blacking on the person. I'm not telling you, fuck you and fuck your whole damn
oh
family.
yeah, no, don't do that.
Go ahead.
That's what I was
Like,
saying.
that's what I was needing. Because I definitely, like, I'm not
But
looking
cutting
for
off
that
somebody
person.
doesn't mean that either.
I'm not
Just
going
so
to be
y'all
Yeah.
know.
kissing that person's ass to get
What
ahead in
does
life.
cutting off to
Hell
me?
the fuck no.
It just means you don't have any. I cut people off weekly. Okay, like I'm
Whoa!
The
not.
cutoff
Hold up.
king.
Who is
I
this?
cut off people weekly that in our dating, y'all know our dating world that we're a part of. So I will stop speaking to niggas and not speak to them ever again, and unless there comes, it's no bad blood. That doesn't mean that there's bad blood. That don't mean it's negativity. If I see you, I'm going to speak. I'm going to give you a hug. It's complete love. It just means we do not have a connection. We do not have a desire. I don't have a desire to talk to you. I don't care really about what you got going on. If I see you, I see you. If I don't, I don't. But everything is cut. Ties are cut. Y'all making it as a negative thing. It's not a negative thing. Because distance means that the nigga is behind me still. And I don't want you in my rear view.
Well, I think that for me, like, there's always two wrongs, right? if I'm entirely just like cutting somebody off who I was close with, who we had an actual bond with, and I'm just gonna be like, fuck you, and I'm really just cutting them off. I don't know, like, unless they really are the only person that did something wrong, like, I could end up looking foolish at the end of the day. But
Hmm.
that's all preference. Like,
It's,
everybody's
you know,
preference is different.
it's what you
The
want to
way they
tolerate,
I
handle
feel
really,
like
things
really.
is different.
I feel like cutting someone off. I feel like cutting someone off is, especially with someone that is close to you, as you're saying. I feel like that deserves a conversation, and that's why I'm saying that distance does not deserve a
But you didn't have a
conversation.
conversation with
And
him, so you still depleted it.
oh, we did
Well, you told
have a
me, yes, and
conversation.
that's what I was going to get to because you told me that he eventually came up to you and had the conversation. But you were
Yeah,
going to leave it at a
and
distance
I
thing.
said thank you.
But you were going to leave it at a distance thing. That's the thing. So, I mean,
Because we didn't live in the same city. If we're gonna go, if he's on here, we didn't live in the same city.
tomato,
So,
tomato,
no, I'm saying if he's on here,
Tomato,
I'm
tomato,
just saying.
Wakanda.
Wakanda, yes. So let's go into Wakanda because we have really talked tonight, and we
This
thank
is
y'all.
cute.
Um, who's talking about? You talking about you talking about he?
Who?
Huh?
What?
Okay, I'm
Who?
done.
What
All
are you
right.
talking about?
Anyway, um,
What?
so we appreciate y'all, Alwyn and he. Love y'all so much. Thank
Are
y'all.
you
Thank
guys
you everybody
doing
that's been
Twitter
watching.
challenges, Mind, Body, and Soul? I hope so.
Mind, Body, and Soul starts next month, August through October. So please join us. The fast is in September, so it's gonna be a good fast. But
Woo!
anyway,
I'm
on to
excited for
Wakanda.
that.
On to Wakanda. So today's last segment is Wakanda. Okay, Wakanda cheating. So you have to say which one is cheating to you. Today's Wakanda cheating. I'm gonna write it in just so y'all can comprehend, what I'm saying.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna read the first one.
Right.
Your partner has a foot fetish OnlyFans account, and he gets jerked off by collaborators with their feet. He loves you a whole lot, but didn't tell you about the OnlyFans account and doesn't split the funds with you because this is his only job, his bread and butter. Also, he invites the collaborators who he flirts with and they flirt back with him to outings with y'all, but doesn't tell you they were in his OnlyFans videos.
Bitch.
Okay?
I
All right,
bust
Hi.
the
this is the second
windows out
person.
your
This is the
car.
second person. Your partner films secret OnlyFans aside from his job, his regular job. This is his side job. He pops Molly while he's on set. He said, he said they aren't. He's not in the scenes. He's not in any of the scenes. But the camera person, but he's just a camera person. He said he never told you about the OnlyFans account. He also masturbates lustfully while he's on set filming, and often flirts with the cast as well, and they flirt back. Um,
That's all cheating.
but after he gets off set of filming, he comes home and gives you good sex. Y'all have been together for 4 years. What kind of
Bitch.
cheating? Which one is cheating to you?
Um,
They're
Bitch, you
both.
gotta pick
both.
one.
They're
I guess
both
I'll pick the first
cheating.
one.
That's what I'm
Y'all
saying.
gotta pick one.
I guess
Y'all gotta
I'll
pick
pick the
Everybody.
one.
first one. I'll pick the first one because you're not about to sit here and invite somebody to our damn outings. And you are getting jerked off by their feet. The fuck? What the fuck are we talking about? Like,
But this is what we have to deal with in 2021 because a lot of people be sneaky as fuck.
Uh,
And they be real
child,
devious.
both of them are cheating.
By the way, number one is a real situation that I found on Twitter.
It sounds real. It sounds like that shit happens in Atlanta. Definitely.
Atlanta.
Who y'all think,
Atlanta. That
King and
shit sound
Jasmine?
like
Which
that
one?
happened
One or
down the
two?
street. I
Both.
would pick number one.
You only could pick one,
I
Jasmine.
really can't pick one because it's
They
not
both made you
morally
mad.
right for me. I can't.
Well, she don't like
I'm
the
not gonna be
flirting
with
part.
either one. Like I'm not.
I think it was the last one for me because you ain't gonna be coming home and then trying to have sex with me after you just did all this
They're
shit.
both
And
bad. Like
Wait, you just got dirt, so
niggas
you
that
not
you
even
slept with
having
in front of
sex.
me. You're coming home with me trying to give me your sloppy second dick. Like what are you doing? What are you
Well, I
doing?
mean, you would be getting sloppy saying dick from foot pick. He already got jerked off, so he barely gave
They
you
both
anything.
masturbated while they was on set, but he got his shit
but
jerked off with
why
feet.
are you jerking off on set?
I
That's
mean,
sloppy
okay, hold
second
on.
dick.
Isn't that like porn? Are you gonna be considering porn cheating? I mean,
Yeah, it is like porn. I
Porn
agree.
isn't cheap. What?
Yeah,
yes,
because
if
If
he's
you are on
somebody
filming.
is
set.
physically pleasing your person, that's
No,
entirely
No, he
different
said he
from
said
watching
he's physically
pornography.
pleasing your. He said,
number two is pleasing himself lustfully on the
yeah,
set filming. But
Oh.
number one is
yeah,
it's actually his account that he's getting foot fetish
yeah,
people
Well,
with
number
jerking
one
him
feet,
is
off with
and
their
he's
feet.
inviting them.
the number one is cheating. If we have to choose one, I guess I
Number two is
misunderstood number
messy.
two because I thought like number two was like being sneaky on set.
I mean, to be honest, they both are cheating. I mean, I would think. I mean, well, I
I was
would
just
feel
saying
like
which one
one
was
is
worse.
more so cheating. Number one.
According to Will and Jada, entanglements are needed to keep a happy relationship.
That was a beautiful ending.
Listen,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. I don't think how people are gonna tell me that nobody's perfect, right? Look at me, I'm just breaking my stuff. Nobody's perfect, and to I don't know. I think that there is a lot of truth to Will and Jada's situation with most long-term marriages, but that's a different story for a different
A
day.
different day. Yeah.
All
We'll
right,
be here for another
guys.
2 hours.
Thank you so
this
much
was
for
so cute.
watching.
Thanks for the
Thank you,
invite.
Alwyn and
We
Heen. We
loved
appreciate
having you
y'all. We
guys
love
on the
y'all.
show.
Yes. Thank y'all for coming through. Thank you everybody for
Sorry for my
watching.
$2.99 wine rants.
Next Monday is going you fine. Next Monday is Trap Therapy on the Streets. Get ready for that. It's coming out.
And
Repost.
the first posting of our self-love challenges will be up next week.
Are you still doing the journal for them?
Yes. The
Okay, she's
downloaded.
gonna have a
If you guys want the journal, I'll put it up on the Trap Therapy page, and then I can email you the link. Did I send you the link, Molly Mall?
no.
Oh, I have to send it to you. I thought I emailed
Molly
it to you.
Mall.
But yeah, if you guys want the self-love journal to help you with the process, hit your girl up, and I'll give it to you for free.
Are we gonna follow each other?
Yeah.
Everybody follow each other. And follow Trap Therapy page, y'all.
Yeah.
They better follow
Everybody
me
that
back.
reposts the Trap Therapy page will have a chance to being shouted out on our lovely show.
Oh, and I'm thinking we're going to talk about this, man, Jasmine. We should probably later towards like fourth quarter do like a giveaway of something. So
fourth
we'll
quarter.
talk about that.
Of you.
Goodbye,
Give yourself
y'all.
away.
Good night, y'all.
Bitch is tired and I got work in the morning.